validated information for our highest good only. Please allow us to release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I Am. Ashe. Ashe, Ashe. So, the love that you deserve deserves you as well. If you remember around this time last year, we had Go Where Love Loves You Back. And at that time, I was ending a very long relationship. And what I learned about it was it didn't matter how much you loved someone, or that if you love somebody in general, they love you back. What matters is if your souls are going in the same direction. And what is very interesting is that whenever you grow, whenever you hit something in your life that is positive and there's growth, your soul moves in a new direction. That's this co-creating life. Life isn't just happening to us. It's not like, we're supposed to do this, this, and that, and then we die. We're following this, that. No, we're co-creating. There are things that we can go in that direction, but we get to create, what it looks like. In that moment that my energy shifted and I had this surrender to the universe, and I saw, okay, I want to help people be aligned with their purpose in life, to help them. My soul pivoted and went in a new direction, and I realized that as I was running in that direction, I'm like, oh, this is great, that I turned around and nobody was with me. Some people were, there are just amazing people in my life that just no matter what direction I go in, they grow with me because they are growing too, because they are on that same path. But when I turned and I realized, oh wow, I'm by myself, it gave me a moment of pause, like, wait a minute, what's going on here? But I realized, and I had to realize this, I wouldn't have been happy bringing people into the life that I'm building. I wouldn't be able to live my fullest and my joyous experience in order to love them, in order to love people, certain people that I'm talking about, that, they had to stay where they needed to stay. In order to love them, I would have had to sacrifice something. And that is not the love that I choose to experience in this life. And regardless of if I love them and they love me back and X, Y, and Z, and this on multiple levels, this is not just romantic, this are friends and family members and things like that. If, it doesn't matter that we love, we care, we got history, blah, 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 blah. Look, if it's not growing in this direction where we're able to be open and free and balanced in our energy while still having respect and boundaries for each other, that energy cannot come with me. And I realize that a lot of people struggle with this. It's a normal thing to struggle with, but a lot of people can get stuck where they're at because they think just because they love somebody that is enough of a reason to stunt their life, to stop their life. I've seen parents do it to children and children do it to parents, feel like they have to stop their life for something. I talked about when I was younger, I was about 19, I had to be a caregiver for my grandmother. I remember thinking, oh, I'm going to stop my life to take care of her. And it didn't end up in that way. And I had a lot of guilt around that, and I realized later on, she lived her life. She lived a very, very full life. And it would have not appreciate you. I believe in you. Anything that you want, we will make it happen. Everybody's looking for that in a relationship. Everyone wants to be that in a relationship. But put that to the side. Don't put that much pressure on a relationship. There is only one person in this world that you are required to, do whatever you gotta do to make it work, and that is you. And the more that you fill yourself up, the more that peaceful relationships will come your way. The more that peaceful interactions will come your way, because they no longer need or have to have that pressure in it. Every time you look into the mirror, if you want to say it or if you just want to look into your eyes and whisper it on the inside, say, I love you. Look at yourself, say, I love you, I love you, I love you. Anything you want, I will do within my power to get it. I trust you. You are my top priority. I will never let anyone disrespect you. I will never let you have unhealthy boundaries in environments and situations that don't work for you. I am always rooting for you. That's the type of energy you gotta have on the inside. That is what heals that toxic love. That is what allows you to be free from those environments, those situations, those things that have been going on way too long. By having that unconditional self-love. But I mean actually having actions behind it, saying, baby, what do you want? That's what you want. We gonna go get it. We're gonna go get it right now. Having that energy with yourself and being able to connect there and just watch when you pay attention to this, when you treat yourself good, others are attracted to you. You ever see somebody, they're in a relationship and then everybody's interested in them because they're in a relationship? But can you imagine that when you're in the strongest relationship with yourself, you will be able to attract what you want, but you're no longer desperate for it. You will just allow it to come freely because you give yourself what you need. You give yourself this love and this nurturing. For example, if maybe one of your goals is a family. I want to have a family, I want to have a partner, I want children, X, Y, and Z. So what do you feel like is important for a family? Well, nurturing, support, things like that. Okay, well, you nurture yourself. You take care of yourself. You may not want to spoil your kids, but spoil yourself. Support yourself. Make sure that your finances are where they need to be so that when this family finally shows up in your life, you know how to be nurturing. You know how to have great boundaries. You know how to be supportive. Do it now. Work backwards and it will come to you. Instead of placing the pressure on someone else or something outside of you, saying, oh, I can't start my life until this happens. Do it. You decide and define whatever life you want to have. You decide and define how your story looks. It doesn't have to look like some traditional story. It doesn't have to look like something that you've always thought. It can grow and